What is up, world? You are in tune to the Know-It-All podcast, and you got your favorite know-it-alls here with you today. What's up, Big Tate? What's up, Big G? How y'all doing, man?
Man, I just got done with the spoils of the turkey and all whatever else, man. We still got leftovers. But, friends and family and the holiday, it was a good weekend for that. But with everything else going on, that's why I got all this black on, man.
Oh, wow. Big Tate, how you doing, man? We got to cut that off before we get into the show because we got more of that coming. How you doing, man?
What's up, Mon? I'm doing good. Much like Big G, man. I done had like 12 people in my house since Wednesday, and they just left about hour and a half ago. Wow. I went from 12 guests to I got one guest right now, and he'll fly out tomorrow. So, wow. I finally got some peace back, some quiet back. I have my home back. I love my family, but basically 4 days with like 11, 12 people, it's nice to have some quiet again.
Hey, I feel that. I feel that all the way. And with it being a Thanksgiving weekend, I wanted to say, wait till we were here online to say, man, I'm thankful for both of you guys, man. Thankful for the Know-It-All audience and everyone who stops by every Sunday and rocks with us. I'm really thankful for you guys, and I hope y'all had a great Thanksgiving weekend. And before we get into the show, man, we're definitely going to get into this.
Hey, Ma, let me add one thing, man. I'm thankful for you guys too, man. You guys are my brothers, man. And
sure.
One more thing I want to add about the company. I'm in my studio here, man, right? And I got a pull-out couch in here. So my 15-year-old nephew slept in here for the past 4 days, and it kind of smelled like a 15-year-old boy been in here.
Wow.
Man, do I get it.
He left his evidence. He left his essence in there for you.
He left his essence in here, man. What's it? That puberty essence.
Ain't nothing like that essence, boy. You can bottle that and sell it. The essence of puberty. That's just pubation. That's what it just sounds like. It's just horrible.
Correct.
Horrible.
Correct.
Hey, man, listen, you guys, what in the wild world of sports did we witness this weekend? Wow. So let's start, man. Let's go ahead and start with this Oklahoma State Bedlam matchup that we got in college football. We've kind of been tinkering with this. All three of us have been tinkering with the idea that Oklahoma was going to take that L against Oklahoma State. So I don't think that none of us were actually shocked. But man, the domination in which they did it was surprising. What about you, Tate? Were you surprised to see the way that Oklahoma pulled out that whoop out? Oklahoma State pulled out the whoop out stick for Oklahoma?
Man, I told you I had all them people here this weekend, so I was spot watching the game. I didn't really get to dig into it and watch it. I would flip to it and check the score. And I think when it was over with, I wasn't even awake. So I saw the final score this morning. I didn't realize Oklahoma State dominated them like that. I mean, I saw the final score was 37-33, so I figured it was a close game. But from what you telling me, it sounds like Oklahoma State dominated and Oklahoma just maybe got some, some garbage time points.
Yeah, so it wasn't it was a clear-cut win by Oklahoma State. The defense of Oklahoma State put it on the offense of Oklahoma. Now, they made some plays that got it close at one point, but, bro, it was a total defensive domination by Oklahoma State. And, I mean, they had they had Caleb Williams looking. He was definitely looking human this weekend. What'd you think about that game, G?
Man, I'm telling you, I watched that game, and that was probably one of the top 10 games of the year. Them boys, listen, if Oklahoma State doesn't get that kickoff return after Oklahoma scores to close out the half, I mean off the punt, because Oklahoma had just scored, stopped them, and then Oklahoma State coach Gundy strategically did a smart thing and called timeout with 17 seconds left to go. And this joker punted to him. Oklahoma punted to him, and the dude ran it back for a 78-yard punt return right before the half that swung the whole momentum of the game. But as far as back and forth and being in a rivalry game, they was going at it. There wasn't no scared people in that game. They was all talking mess to each other. They was up handling their business. But the issue is, I think the rivalry is over with. According to the news that dropped today, that's just what I'm thinking, that the rivalry is over.
Yeah, and to add insult to injury, what Big G is talking about, Lincoln Riley is up out. He's reports are saying that he is definitely taking his talents to California and USC. And man, hey, that's going to revive that program. That is going to blow life in that USC program. A lot of the kids who have, went other places, that's going to stop that. That's going to stop that. A lot of those kids offensively who are quarterbacks and receivers who are getting up out of California, that stops. That stops
if you look at the ESPN 300 for the 2022, Oklahoma only has 11 kids on that list. 7 of those 11 kids are from California. If you look at the ESPN for the 2023, Oklahoma's already got 2 of the top 10 kids signed and 4 of the top 17. All 4 of those kids are from California. Guess what's going to happen, ladies and gentlemen? They're going to be Trojan boys. They ain't going to play for them Sooners, man. So Lincoln Riley, and I'm saying this, Lincoln Riley has an opportunity to build and win real fast. And I wouldn't be shocked within 2 years if they're a playoff team. I wouldn't be shocked.
Honestly, I totally wholeheartedly agree with that. And that's on par with everything that I'm thinking. Like I said, there are a lot of talented wideouts and a lot of talented quarterbacks who would benefit from playing for Lincoln Riley. I mean, he's one of the top offensive minds in football and in the game. So think about putting Lincoln Riley in Los Angeles, man, and that team becomes something totally different again. And, it's a shot for California. It's a shot to bring – when USC is doing good, college football is doing good, man.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, you have all the stars come out, Snoop, everybody. They come out and be a part of that USC Trojan boy kind of mystique, and I just like it. I think it's good for college football. I think it's good for everything else. And seeing Lincoln Riley, like I said, who's one of the top offensive minds, go there, man, that just kind of opens it up for everybody.
And I'm calling it on the show too. Don't be shocked if that Caleb Williams kid hit the portal in about the next 7 to 14 days. Don't be shocked if he hit that portal, because he's up and out too, man.
Tell you what you think. You think it'd be Williams or Rattler that hit the portal? One of them going to hit it. But which one you think is going to hit the portal?
I think it'll probably be Williams. I mean, I can see him wanting to go with Lincoln Riley. Spencer Rattler is more vested in Oklahoma just by the mere fact he's been there a little longer. So,
right.
He can go ahead and get his last year there. Go ahead and let Williams get in the transfer portal and have another 2 or 3 years if he needs it with Lincoln Riley and you at USC. I do agree with Big G that the recruiting is going to take an uptick back in USC, and they'll keep a lot of kids at home. But even right now, we're looking at Bryce Young, C.J. Stroud, the quarterback at Clemson, all from California. They all can't go to USC. So some of the players going to get out of there and still come to some of the big dogs, though.
Yeah, agreed. And, even when USC was doing well, they were still losing people. I mean, Ricky Williams
It's just so much talent in California.
Yeah,
California,
definitely.
Texas, and Florida, the most talent. And
I mean, you can't keep everybody.
Georgia probably would be 4 in that mix.
You know, I seen the stat that's gonna mess you up. Per capita, it was just talking about the size of the state and how many people that they put out. Mississippi's actually above Georgia.
Oh, okay.
Believe it or not, that blew my mind. I was like, how in the world is Mississippi? But it's a smaller state.
All you got to do is look at Alabama, LSU, and Texas A&M. That'll tell you why they some dogs.
It sends a lot of people into the league and puts a lot of people there, man. So it's crazy to think about that. And man, honestly, like I said, I'm glad to see, and I'm over the top to see that we're gonna have USC back, because I think that's a big thing. And speaking of California, you can't think about California without the Lakers. And just a real quick sidebar: Bronny played here this weekend. Bronny Jr. played here this weekend, and Duncanville High School mopped them. That gave them their first loss of the year. But Duncanville has a lot of celebrities. Kids on that squad. I mean, they're first and foremost, they're 2-time state champions in 6A basketball in the state of Texas. And then on top of that, they got Anthony Hardaway's son. They got Penny's son there. They got the number 1 player in the state of Texas, and they had like the number 4 player in the nation on the team. So it's like, it's no big surprise. But yeah, Bronny's team took a loss in the Turkey Classic here and Thanksgiving. But moving right along with college football, we had Oklahoma State. That was a big one. Then we had Michigan and Ohio State, which is, a big sore subject. So I'm going to back out, and I'm going to allow my 2 good friends here to kind of elaborate on the game, and I'll give my thoughts after. I'll start with Tate. Tate, what did you think about this game? Give me your takes, your ups, and your downs. I'm listening to you.
Man, Ohio State had the same issues they've had all year long. That defense. I mean, few games they played well enough to to look decent. They never looked elite at all year. And so the defense gave up 300 yards rushing. Hassan Haskins had 175 and 5 touchdowns. They gave up 5 touchdowns to one guy, and 3 of the plays was the same exact play. 2 to the same side, 1 to another side. I mean, so the offense did decent. They came out with a couple of field goals when they would have been nice if they got touchdowns, but CJ Stroud threw for about 350 and 2 touchdowns. He carried them, kept them in the game. Henderson ran okay, but that O-line was so scared of Aiden Hutchinson and Njabo on the other side, both 2 first-round edge rushers that Michigan had, that they had about 8 to 10 false start penalties from jumping, from being scared all game. A couple crucial holding calls. I'll say this: CJ Stroud would have had a 20-yard rushing touchdown that would have cut the game down, but it came back on a holding call on one of the offensive linemen. Again, CJ Stroud had a 20-yard rushing touchdown that got called back. So I completely blame this on Ohio State's defense. It was their inability to tackle, their inability to apply pressure the few times Michigan did pass. Michigan passed 19 times. They didn't like they had a well-balanced attack. They just ran it down our throats for 4 quarters. That's what they did.
Man, listen. I'm going to say this, man. First of all, let me say this. Last I checked, football is 11-on-11 offense, 11-on-11 defense. Last I checked, it's a team sport. And last I checked, you take the L together and you take the dub together. It doesn't matter if the offense played good and the defense played like crap, or the defense played good and the offense played like crap. It's all about a team thing. And if Ryan Day is the coach for Ohio State, or if he is what I think he is, then he should be preaching that amongst his team. That's number one. Second of all, I can't, if you go percentage-wise, there's some percentage things that happen with the offense as well. And the offensive leader of that team is Stroud. I think overall, the weaknesses for Ohio State showed up glaring from the beginning of the game. C.J. Stroud has negative 30 yards rushing on the season for Ohio State. And if you take away his sack yards, he still only has 31 yards rushing, which is glaringly the lowest rushing by any quarterback for Ohio State in the last 30 years. So they're a one-dimensional offense. You ain't going to win. And even more so, the play calling by the coaching staff with that one-dimensional offense at the beginning of the third quarter, after you go into the locker room 14-13, you come out and run 3 plays, but you got the 3 running plays all to the right, all the same play, and you got this super dynamic quarterback that, you're trying to be a Heisman Trophy winner. That's on that coaching staff too. However, I will say this, man, and for Buckeye fans, y'all might not want to hear it, man. We're 111-4 over the last 10 years when our quarterback rushes for over 65 yards in a game. 111-4. Keep that in mind.
Over how long? Over what period of time?
From 2012 to 2021. We're 111-9
years. So but you have to offer context. A lot of that was Urban Meyer's offense. A lot of that was JT Barrett probably played about a good 50 of those games. You had Braxton Miller in there, and you had Justin Fields in there. So that's not surprising.
So let me explain. Let me just hear me out on this, man, because I feel you, but just hear me out on this. If Ryan Day is a true football coach, right? So a lot of this I'm hanging on Ryan Day. Don't get it twisted. I'm putting a lot on Day too, right? You cannot tell me that when they're in practice during the week and they're prepping for games and they're watching film that he's not telling their quarterback when the play breaks down, go. You can't tell me that when they run RPO, zone read plays, he's not telling them to pull it and go. You can't tell me that.
Sean, Big D, here's my thing. Does the quarterback, any quarterback of a game, Dak lost on Thanksgiving, and guess what? He shoulders a lot of that blame, but he doesn't shoulder it all.
I'm not saying
Stroud played well enough to win the game. Where you got to hang your hat on is the fact that team rushed for how many yards on y'all?
But
how many
listen,
yards did they rush for y'all?
It's a team game, bro.
300? Okay. So if they rush for 300 yards and never at any point did you see 8 men in the box, I think the defensive coordinator has a lot to do with that, man.
What is the offensive job? Let me ask you a question. What is the offensive job? The offensive job is to extend drives, extend plays. That's the quarterback's job. And he will do whatever it takes to extend the play and extend the drive. Because guess what? They don't rush for 300 yards when their offense is standing on the side.
Ohio State scored 27 points, and they got down to the red zone a couple of times. They could have more touchdowns. They said extend drive. I would challenge you to look at their 4th down conversion rate yesterday.
It was 29%. It was 29%. I already looked it up.
No, it wasn't. He made more 4th downs than that.
Michigan's 4th down percentage was almost 60. It was 29%.
How many times did Michigan go for it on 4th down yesterday? They didn't have to.
They went for it 4 times.
So here's my thing. Still in all, as a defensive coordinator, you've got to shoulder that blame. When you let a team run it down your throat the way that Michigan ran it down their throat, that's embarrassing. And you don't put 8 in the box to stop it. Never at any point did he commit his linebackers and his safeties to stopping the run. Michigan didn't even worry about passing.
I'm not blaming the defense. I didn't even get a chance to get to that. I started with the offense. But first of all, I started with Ryan Day, and then I started with the offense. Defensively, why did Simon not play in the whole second half? Why did Jack Sawyer not play for the entire game? Why do you have number 11, Jean Baptiste, and number 8, defensive end, who's been liabilities all season on the and number 35, linebacker, as liabilities on the field the whole season? They've been liabilities the whole season. So why are they on the field? Right? So they got major issues and not to mention, look at how many Buckeye players transferred. Look at how many Buckeye players walked away prior to this game, way early on in the season, that could have been defensive players to help us. Our issues is internal, but the internal issue is Ryan Day has got to change what he is as a coach.
Hey, Mod,
if Ryan Day don't change, we're in trouble.
Mod,
what we got to take?
Got to fact check Big G real quick. Ohio State was 3 for 4 on 4th downs yesterday. Michigan was 1 for 1.
3 or 4?
3 or 4, 75%. You said 29%. And CJ Stroud was 35 of 49 for 394 and 2 touchdowns. And I remember on their first drive, Chris Olave dropped a touchdown pass.
Yeah. Garrett Wilson dropped a couple passes too. Jackson Smith and Juka dropped a couple passes.
He did.
So it ain't just on talking about Olave. They all, like I said,
Olave dropped a touchdown pass, but they all dropped passes, which speaks to CJ Stroud's numbers being even better than they were.
I understand that, but however, the loss goes for everybody. Starting with Ryan Day.
No, you're putting the loss on CJ Stroud.
Because he didn't run the ball.
Everybody.
Because he didn't run the ball.
Oh, yeah, because he needs to run the ball. That's an issue. And trust me, Columbus, Ohio, and hear me on this. If they don't play Alabama or Notre Dame in the bowl game or back their way into the playoff and got to go out to Utah and play the Utah in the Rose Bowl, Olave, Garrett Wilson, Rucker, Harrison, the defensive tackle, ain't none of them boys playing in that game. Why would you take a chance with your NFL draft stock? And then we're going to see what Stroud is about when he ain't throwing the all-world talent. We're going to see then. And I'm telling you, there's a quarterback controversy in Columbus. Let's
no, there's not. No, I guarantee there's not. Ewers, bye-bye. Ewers is out of there.
We'll see.
I know Ewers is a beast. But we talk about probably the Heisman runner-up, and you talk about he got to go.
No, I'm telling you, there's a quarter. He's got to improve. That's not what I'm saying. He got to go. I said he has to improve. He has to get. You can't tell me that during the week he's not getting coached to say if the play breaks down, run. You cannot tell me that during the week that when they run the zone.
Is that your only gripe?
Well, it becomes easy to game plan on a team when the quarterback don't run the ball.
Down, 5 interceptions. Is that your only gripe that he don't pull it down and run when you want him to?
That's part of my gripe. It's part of.
Is that your only gripe? What's your other gripe about?
No. But CJ Stroud?
Yeah.
No, he's a Madonna. He's a prima donna quarterback. Quarterback and leaders do anything they got to do to win the game. It ain't about no numbers. It's about getting that victory. Anybody that plays football knows that it's about the W's.
Hey, Mod, I'd argue he went 10-2 as a freshman. He lost the game against Oregon. We know how bad that defense looked in that game. And he lost the game yesterday against Michigan. We know how bad the defense looked in that game. He threw for 394, 2 touchdowns yesterday. He threw for 484 and 4 touchdowns against Oregon.
I'm not saying that the defense ain't horrible. I'm not saying that. But he takes part of the blame because the offense from Michigan can't score if they're not on the field. The quarterback's job is to extend the drive.
He went to off. Let me look at time of possession.
Drive.
Here's how I feel about that, G. I do agree without a shadow of a doubt.
Hey, Mom, let me give you this stat first real quick.
Okay.
Who led in time of possession yesterday?
I have no clue.
Probably Michigan.
That's what you would think. But no, it was 32-28 Ohio State. So he's supposed to have the ball, huh, Big G?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah, he's supposed to have the ball.
In that 28 minutes, the defense on the field, they got to stop somebody. I'm sorry, Mom.
Oh, I agree. I'm like, y'all keep trying to say that I'm saying it's all about Stroud. I said the defense is trash. Al Washington needs to be fired. First of all, the linebackers coach, I watched it. He needs to be fired. Second of all, why in the world do you have 11, like I said, 11 and 8 on the field, and you got Jack Sawyer, who was the #1 high school recruit in the country last year, playing one defensive end, and Tua, number 44, the other defensive end, and they're not on the field. The guys who are the seniors ain't stopping nobody, or the upperclassmen, so why are they playing? Why is Cody Simon not in the game in the second half? He didn't play one down.
My thing is that if you watch the game, like I did, they didn't commit 8 to the box to stop a running. I don't know any defensive coordinator who won't put 8 in the box if I'm getting gassed.
Fired.
And the linebackers were 6 yards off the ball. The linebackers were 6 yards off the ball. He was pulling a linebacker in and putting him down on the line. I don't get it. I'm sitting watching the game like, man, what is going on? Like, do you not want to stop the run?
Right.
That is putting more people on the line is not going to stop the run. What you need to do is fill holes. But my thing is, and like I said, CJ Stroud cannot bear all this blame. The man did what he could.
Why y'all keep saying? I'm saying I never just said that. I said that he shouldn't be blameless. That's my point.
No, he got to get some of it. But
he gets some of it. Oh yeah.
Quarterbacks. The quarterback of any team is going to get
first of all,
90%
of the blame. First of all, 90% of the blame, realistically, 90% of the blame is on Ryan Day. I hate to say that because I don't believe that you can talk about a coach because they don't play a snap or a down. However, it's on Ryan Day. Because Ryan Day's responsibility is to coach them boys and not worry about egos, who does what, who likes what, or what does it win. If you don't execute the play, because every offensive play is designed to score a touchdown. If you don't execute the play,
hold on, G. Hold on. So, and I'm gonna ask Tate this. So, Tate, do you believe that Ryan Day got out-coached yesterday?
By 4.
Man, I could have told you what Michigan game plan was going to be going into the game yesterday.
Exactly.
But I'm not saying it's on Ryan Day. I'm saying it's on the defensive play caller. I know Ryan Day is an offensive coach, so his hands is directly on the offense. If Big G want to blame Ryan Day for CJ Stroud not running, he can do that. But the fact of the matter is the defense gave up 42 points, 5 touchdowns to one man. They couldn't stop anything. So I don't blame Ryan Day. I think Ryan Day is a great coach, a great recruiter, a great offensive coach, great recruiter. Every quarterback he's ever had, he's got them prepared and ready. So I don't blame Ryan Day, but that defense looked atrocious as it has all year. It came back to rear its ugly head in the biggest game of the year. They couldn't stop. And every time Haskins got a run, it was a 7, 8, 9 yard run right up the gut.
Agreed. And why I said Kerry Combs and Al Washington should be fired. It's Larry Johnson as the defensive coordinator a bust. I mean, it's really that simple, man.
You put up on your Facebook post. I commented on it that they need to make Larry Johnson DC or go try and go get Marcus Freeman back.
Yeah. It's Larry Johnson or bust. Because I don't think Notre Dame gave Marcus Freeman an astronomical amount of money. So I don't know if they can get him or pay him as a DC. However, Al Washington, Kerry Combs, up out of there, bro. Up out of there.
They can go. Maybe they can get Brett Venable. I mean, it looked like the dynasty could be crumbling over there at Clemson. Maybe they can try and get him.
Yeah. He's a great coach. Great coach.
So kind of switching gears, we had Georgia win by a landslide, which we knew Georgia Tech wasn't going to put up any kind of, challenge to mighty Georgia. And then we had Alabama. I mean, honestly, Auburn let them loose. Auburn let them have it. I mean, Auburn had them. It was over with. But, hey, they survived. It's all about the W and the L.
All about
and
it.
But once again, Alabama shows the chinks in their armor, though. Like I said, I've been saying all year. I mean, if when Auburn got the ball back, and they were second and 11. The running back made a good run, Bixby. He got 9 yards, I think, but he went out of bounds. If you just drop down and get 7 yards, you make Alabama burn their last time out, then you can run on third down and kill another 45 seconds.
They don't
and
even
they
get
put
close.
the ball back with 45 seconds instead of a minute 43. And they went because the punt was perfect too.
Correct. They pinned
You
him
know
into
what I
2.
mean?
Yep. They pinned him into 2.
Auburn gave that game away.
They gave it away. No, they pissed it down their leg. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. The moment was too big for them, and they let it loose. They let him loose. They let him off the hook.
Bryce Young, Alabama got some of the same issues Ohio State got. Bryce Young ain't trying to run. Bryce Young got sacked 7 times yesterday by Auburn. But that's unbelievable that Bryce Young got sacked 7 times by Auburn.
But look,
man.
It is a rival game though. I mean, say what you want to say. In rival games, these kind of things happen. You know what
happened if you watch the game in the fourth quarter? Because everybody knows Jamison Williams got ejected for targeting early in that game. So, but what you saw in the fourth quarter was Bryce Young take off and run that ball. When things broke down, he scrambled and he picked up big first downs, which kept him in the game. So, and on that last drive, he had a scramble for about 14, 15 yards that was critical for them to go down and get that touchdown. So, I don't understand where we've gotten to where a quarterback doesn't run and scramble and extend drives. I just don't understand that.
Well, I mean, honestly, like I said, when it comes down to it and we start thinking about, this whole playoff picture, Alabama now is lined up against Georgia. And, they barely got by Auburn this weekend. So now you got Alabama, Georgia. If Georgia wins that game, which we fully all expect them to, you're looking at Georgia being in the playoffs, right?
Yep.
Alabama being out of the playoffs, especially
Correct.
being that they, almost lost a close game to Auburn, and then they'll lose this game to Georgia. Now you got Cincinnati, who's the next thing up. Well, Michigan, they have to take care of their business against Iowa, but I mean,
they
Iowa's
will.
just I don't see Iowa even putting up any type of resistance against Michigan.
Be a competitive game. That's gonna be a competitive game. You have two solid defenses going at it. I mean, I think Iowa's offense is way behind Michigan's offense, and that's saying Iowa's offense is not that good. The Michigan offense typically is a 21 to 24 point offense.
Yeah, true.
But Iowa's offense might be 17 points.
True.
So
right. But the defense is good.
But I anticipate the defense to struggle.
But you just see Michigan put up how many points?
42.
42.
Yeah. So
but no, Iowa defense way better than Ohio State defense.
True.
Way better.
Very true.
Yeah. So all right. So we got Michigan playing Iowa, which could go a different way. He said it would be competitive. It could go a different way. But here's the deal.
I got Michigan winning, though. I got Michigan winning, but you said you think it might not be that much resistance put up. It's going to be a competitive game, I think.
Okay. So my thing is if like in the Big 12 and in the Big 10, if the favorites out of those, if Michigan don't win, if Oklahoma State don't win, do you think that they get somebody in the playoffs? Because if Baylor wins, they're being beat a highly ranked Oklahoma State team, which they lost to earlier in the year by blowout, right? They got blew out. But if Baylor wins, their 2 losses, with their 2 losses, do they get in the playoffs?
Baylor lost to Oklahoma State and TCU?
Yeah.
I forget who the other loss was.
Correct. They lost to TCU.
Yeah.
No, I think they lost to Oklahoma. Or did they beat Oklahoma?
Baylor beat Oklahoma.
Baylor won the first one to beat Oklahoma.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because remember, Lincoln Riley was mad about the field goal at the end.
Correct. They ran on at the end of they ran at the thing at the end of the game for going to kick because they said the points margin would matter.
Right. So a loss to Oklahoma State is not a bad loss. TCU could be a bad loss. If both Oklahoma State and Michigan lose, then that's when you talk about teams creeping in there. Then Ohio State could be back in play if that was to happen, because they got 2 quality losses against Michigan and against
Oregon.
But then Michigan got the same argument though, because they losses against Michigan State and would beat Iowa. So there would be kind of 2 quality losses too, and they beat Ohio State. So
Baylor lost to Iowa State. That's the persons that they lost. They lost to Iowa State by 2 in the very beginning of the year.
State. Okay, and Iowa State was big at 6-16.
Hey, so listen. When the playoff rankings come out on Tuesday, this is going to be the playoff rankings for the top 7. Mark my words: Georgia 1, Bama 2, Michigan 3, Cincinnati 4.
Nope.
Because Bama was 3 and they're going to move them up to 2 because it's about that TV money, man.
Bama didn't play well. If they moved Bama up to 2 and Bama, like Miles was saying last week, then Bama play a close game against Oklahoma and lose, then you couldn't argue dropping out the top 4. So I think they're going to keep Bama at 3 or 4 just for have that cushion.
Okay.
I saw the AP today. Georgia 1, Michigan 2, Cincinnati 3, Bama 4.
Right.
I can see it being more along those lines.
Well, I mean, I'm saying it could go Bama 3 or 2. So we say let's flip it. Let's say
I got Bama 3 or 4.
Okay, so go Georgia 1, Michigan 2, Bama 3, Cincinnati 4.
I can see that. I can see
Number 5 will be Notre Dame.
Yeah.
Number 6 will
Oklahoma
be
State.
Number 6 will be Oklahoma State.
Yeah.
And number 7 will be either Oregon or Ohio State.
Ohio State, not Oregon, Ohio State.
So if Cincinnati loses, if Oklahoma State loses, and if Georgia beats Bama, there's a possible way that Notre Dame and the Buckeyes could creep back into the playoff. It's not deserving. It's not deserving.
Yeah, I was gonna say we not even gonna go there, Big G. We got our butts whooped. We don't deserve it. We don't need to try and talk about how we can backdoor our way in. We had a chance to take it and get there, and we didn't. So let's not even worry about that.
I agree, but I
let's root for Michigan and Cincinnati.
Yeah, I never root for Michigan. You couldn't, man. I'd die first before I root for the Wolverines.
Listen, here's the deal. So Cincinnati's gonna have to handle their business against Houston. And
really good Houston team.
They proved me wrong. They proved me wrong twice. I'm not going against them again. I think that they will. I think they will hold and handle their business. Against Houston team, which is a good Houston team. Notre Dame is right there. They have no more games on their schedule. No more. They're done. So I don't see them leapfrogging Oklahoma State if Oklahoma State won it all. If they beat Baylor, I don't see that happening.
Yeah. But if Oklahoma State beats Baylor, they're in. Yeah. There ain't no sense what's about it.
Definitely. But if Baylor beats Oklahoma State,
what if Oklahoma State win and everybody in the top 4 win? Well, everybody in the top 4 can't win because Georgia. But if Georgia lose, they still gonna be there though.
Yeah. Oh, so yeah. If Georgia loses, it's gonna have 2 SEC teams. Yeah.
You're gonna get Alabama and you're gonna get Georgia.
Oklahoma State want Georgia to win then.
Yeah. Oh, for sure. Yeah. For sure they do.
Yeah. And I mean, I don't see Georgia laying a goose egg like that, But then I can see Alabama coming to play that game though too, And
so Alabama's issue, true, and to be honest, Jameson Williams is really that thing. And with him not in that game, it showed how really they're not that good. So Jameson Williams now playing against Georgia, can they get pressure with the front 4, which they got on every team all year? Number 99, Davis, is a monster. So if Georgia is able to get pressure on Bryce Young with 4, Jameson Williams is not going to be running free in the secondary.
Georgia's defense is 2 times better than Auburn defense. The Auburn defense shut them out basically the whole game.
Yeah.
So I see Georgia defense being able to do that. Go ahead.
Hey, Hey, Xavier says go blue.
Oh,
He says
he's
go
right.
blue.
The last time they won, he was 15. So I feel him. 10 years? Yeah. Oh, listen. I don't know about these Ohio
10
State
years.
fans that are
Wait. You must be talking about basketball.
Yeah, it's been 10. What last time they won was what, 2011? Yeah.
Oh, the last time they beat Ohio State. I thought you meant the last time they got a boat. Nah, that's what I thought you were talking
about. Last time the Michigan Wolverines popped my Buckeyes Xavier was 15 and at Perry High School in Lima. He had 10 years of just, he don't know what. I put that young man in the corner so many times for betting against Ohio State and Michigan. It's unbelievable. So he feels good right now, and I feel him.
It's funny the symmetry and full circleness of it all that, last time Michigan beat Ohio State, Luke Fickell was the coach, but now Luke Fickell got them Cincinnati boys ready to compete for the national championship, get in the playoffs anyway. And Big G, I want to say what you said, man. I mean, like I'm upset Michigan beat Ohio State, man, but I'm pulling from my conference now, man. I mean, why would I want Michigan to do it? You know what I mean? And then they come to Columbus next year and we pop the defending national champs. That's how I look at it.
Well,
give me the challenge.
I told Ma this off air, and people might not understand. I'm not cheering for Michigan, but I'm gonna be honest about this. Harbaugh is playing to win now. He's got that monkey off his back, like he's playing to win. Not just like the Big Ten championship, going into the playoff, he's trying to get that chip. Because can you imagine if they're able to put a chip up in Ann Arbor? Oh my God.
That's different.
Oh my God.
That's a different energy. And Xavier goes on to say Bama wins SEC championship. They get in over Cincy. I'm gonna tell you the truth. That's a tall thing to happen for Alabama. I don't know that they have it. They could do it, but I don't know that they have it in them to beat a Georgia team this red hot, this strong.
Even if Alabama beat Georgia, I don't see the fact Cincinnati. All Cincinnati got to do is handle their business.
That's it.
They gonna be in the top 3. So all they got to do is beat Houston. And
if Michigan does win, if Michigan wins, they go to the playoffs. Yeah. I agree with G. I don't think that they're going to be there just for the ride. I think that's a team that's going to be looking to get them one.
Trying to get a chip.
Anybody can get it at that point. I
agree. That's why I'm rooting for Michigan. If they win next week, I'm rooting for Michigan or Cincinnati over Georgia, over whoever the other team is.
Well, if everybody wins out, more than likely Cincinnati and Michigan going to be the first round game, and Georgia versus Okie State probably going to be the second round game. The other one, yeah. So it'll probably be Okie State versus Georgia.
If Oklahoma State loses, now we got Notre Dame in here, and that's crazy.
See, but it's kind of messed up that Notre Dame don't got to play a conference championship game. So they just sitting back, knowing what their record is. They ain't putting nothing on the line. Our resume is filled out, and everybody else got to play that conference championship.
Yeah. And I've had problems with Notre Dame for years about that. They have to join the conference, man.
I'm be honest with you. I don't want to see Notre Dame even get that shot.
So if Oklahoma State did lose and Notre Dame got skipped over, I wouldn't have a problem with it.
Right. Me neither. Because honestly, I mean, if Baylor beat Oklahoma State, listen, you can say what you want to say. They beat Oklahoma State's gonna probably be 4 or 5 in this next poll.
Yeah.
Easy. You know what I'm saying? So they beat a 4 or 5 team, in a championship game, and they're the champions. I don't see why they don't get that nod.
Well, Baylor's currently ranked. Baylor's currently ranked number 8.
Yeah.
8.
Right.
Yeah. So I mean, that Notre Dame team is not championship worthy to me. I just don't see it. Well, man, switching gears out of college football this weekend, we got all of the hoopla there, man. What in the wild world of sports do we have going on where the New England Patriots look like the AFC champions at this point?
The evil
This is
empire,
crazy.
man. The evil empire.
This
Evil
is crazy.
empire,
You got
man.
who saw this coming? Who saw this version of the Patriots coming?
I expected them to be good, but the only thing is I expected because you remember in the offseason they went and got a lot of free agents. They spent a lot of bread. So
Judon,
and then a lot of people sat out last year because of COVID off the defense.
Yep.
So I expected them to be good and compete with Buffalo for their division, but I expected Cam Newton to be the quarterback.
Right. Yeah.
And
Matt Jones, Jamar Chase, probably number one right now for offensive rookie of the year. Matt Jones is up there. He up there. He top 2 or 3 offensive rookie of the year for sure.
I don't disagree.
Matt Jones is balling. Matt Jones is balling. And he plays. This reminds me so much of Brady's rookie. You know, when Brady had to come in for Bledsoe, and that year when he won that first Super Bowl, this team even almost has similar players to that team.
That was his second year, though. Brady's second
year. Yeah, this remind me a lot of them, man. You got 2 dog tight ends. You got a couple underrated wide receivers, and you got a beast mode defense. I mean, come on, man.
So you said
a heck of a running game.
You said evil empire, Big G. I say that's just the master chef cooking it up, boy. That boy Belichick got his recipe, got his formula, and he stick to it, man.
He looked like the emperor. That's why we
better
call
coach,
him
better coach, better coach. Belichick, Saban, Mike Krzyzewski.
Belichick.
Oh.
Well,
6 Super Bowls.
Mike Krzyzewski got a
Saban.
List. Mike Krzyzewski's got a list.
Saban got what? 5 votes.
5 or 6.
He got 1 at LSU. I think he got 4 at Bama, maybe 5 at Bama.
Yeah, he got 5 or 6. Saban?
No, because I think it's different when you can recruit all the best players and you coach them up versus the NFL. You got free agency, you got contracts.
That might be the tipping point. That might be the tipping point right there.
Yeah.
It's harder to do, and it's harder to put an empire together in the pros because you got a salary cap, and people are trying to get paid because they're not going to last long in the sport. And the sport has an 8-year window. You know what I mean? And the greats are playing a little longer, but you're only good in this sport for 8 years. So it's like one of those things where, doing it in at the highest level, I think it would have to be Belichick. But to me, I think Krzyzewski would be my second. Then it would be over
Saban?
Saban, yeah.
Oh, never.
Man, coach, man, you got to think about Coach K been doing this for 40 years, man.
Man, Saban got about 25.
I can remember when Johnny Dawkins and them boys was in the Final Four.
Yeah.
Then you put in the Danny Ferry teams. You know what I mean?
So Saban never handled his business at Miami. But Saban handled his business at Michigan State. He handled his business at LSU. He handled his business at Bama.
He's a great coach. Great coach. Probably the best college football coach ever. Just like Krzyzewski is probably the best college basketball coach ever.
But John Wooden.
Even better than John Wooden. John Wooden was playing at an age where it wasn't like, I don't care what you say. It was it's like
there ain't no way. Coach K the best coach.
It's like the Celtics. It's like the Celtics dynasty with Bill Russell. They got 11 championships when it was 8 teams, man.
Right.
Look, they got 10 teams. He got 10. John Wooden got 10. Coach K got 5. Coach K, to me, the reason why Coach K gets so much respect is there were people like LeBron and people like Kobe who were like, Coach K is that thing.
But
you know what I mean? Even Jordan loved Coach K.
Look at this, man. You gotta look at what Wooden had to do to get those 10 chips. It wasn't no field of 64 back then. He ain't have to win 6 games to cut them nets. You know what I mean?
And look at what Wooden had. Wooden probably had 2 of the top 5 greatest college basketball players ever. Ever.
That's laughable, Xavier.
Yeah, John Calipari, never.
He said John Calipari.
But Wooden had a Lou Alcindor when there wasn't nobody that could stop Lou Alcindor, and had Bill Walton with Jamal Wilkes and them running with Bill Walton.
Yeah.
So it wasn't like there was no man. They had a ball squad.
Yeah.
So
I get it, man. I get it. And so just going. So we'll get back to NFL, but going to college basketball. This is another thing that happened this weekend. Gonzaga took an L, and guess who they took an L to?
Coach K.
They took an L to Coach K, and definitely, man, Coach K made sure that Gonzaga looked unbeatable. Timmy had been balling.
The Cheddar Dog. Cheddar Dog. What's up, Tay?
Timmy has been balling. Big G.
Yo.
I'm going to take one of your big burners right now.
What's up?
Duke goes down to Ohio State on Tuesday night.
Could be.
Ooh.
Could be. Could be.
You already hear first. You already hear first.
Yeah. Could be.
Well, so I watched Gonzaga play UCLA. They beat the brake shoes off UCLA.
Beat the brakes off.
It wasn't even fun. I watched them play Texas. They dominated Texas. But Duke handled them boys. Duke handled them boys and made them look regular for the first time in a long time.
3-point win? Is that handling them? I mean, they ain't handling them.
They ain't handling them.
What happened to Gonzaga? Because I watched the whole game. Gonzaga got into foul trouble, man, which hurt them. When the 2 big dudes for Gonzaga got in foul trouble and they had to rotate them in and out of the game, that caused problems. And that big boy who's a freshman, like a Chet, that played for Duke, the 6'10", 250 boy, he the truth. He could go number 1 versus
Paulo.
Yeah, he the truth. He's the truth, man.
And I think that's the key to being competitive against Gonzaga is you gotta be physical with them. You gotta have a physical presence against them. That's why Baylor blitzed them last year.
Mm-hmm.
Blitzed them. They wasn't.
And speaking of which, so the top 10, and then we'll get off of college basketball. Top 10: Gonzaga, UCLA, Purdue, Kansas, which is
Gonzaga ranked number. You talking about the poll ain't came out yet? Couldn't have been.
They're ranked number. They're ranked number 1 last week's poll. This is last week's basketball poll. Gonzaga, UCLA, Purdue, Kansas, which is Sean's team, and KJ, who's a friend of the show,
took an L dog.
Then we got Duke at 7-0. We got Baylor at 7-0 at number 6, Villanova at number 7, Texas at number 8, Memphis at number 9, and Kentucky at 10.
Memphis took an L. Kansas took an L to them Dayton Flyers, which I watched that whole game, and that was an outstanding basketball game. They took an L. I watched that whole game.
Well, I'm gonna tell you something. College basketball is definitely gonna get interesting, but finishing out on the NFL this weekend, man, I hate to say this because I dislike them with a purple passion. I don't dislike them more than I do the Giants, but I don't like the Packers. But man, the Packers are looking like the best team in the NFC.
They won today.
They won today. And then the Patriots are looking like the best team in the AFC. What if it is a Patriots-Packers Super Bowl? Oh my gosh.
Boo. Boo. TV ratings is going to be horrible.
Patriots ain't going to the Super Bowl.
Yeah, TV ratings will be horrible.
People going to watch the Super Bowl. I'm just saying that at some point, Mac Jones is not going to be playing Ryan Tannehill. It's going to be Patrick Mahomes across from him. It's going to be hopefully a Josh Allen that's playing with some focus like he did Thanksgiving night. You know what I mean? You got some people, some elite quarterbacks coming in.
Trash. Keep
nephew.
Next. Keep going.
Nephew. You prophesying, nephew?
Keep going. Go ahead, Tate. Say what you were saying, man.
No, I was just saying that, and Mac Jones gonna have to. I don't think. I mean, Mac Jones at this point, and the Patriots offense is not capable of airing it out. Their defense keep them in a lot of games, but at some points, somebody Herbert, Mahomes, Allen, somebody gonna hang 35 on them. Is gonna put pressure on Mac Jones that he ain't ready for yet. Maybe
three best teams in the AFC. Three best teams.
The Patriots one of the three best teams.
I don't know. They're top five. I don't know.
Patriots.
No,
Chiefs,
Cincinnati Bengals,
and Cincinnati.
Baltimore Ravens, Cincinnati Bengals, Baltimore Ravens, Kansas City Chiefs. The Patriots is to be continued. We'll see. Because what? And I'm backing it up by the evidence of what Tate said. They ain't really played nobody. Let's sit down with one of them.
Is Justin Herbert in there? Are the Chargers in there?
Not yet. They top five. They to be continued.
Did they win today?
They was killing somebody early. No, they was killing Denver early. They was killing Denver.
Oh, they weren't killing Denver. It was 14-7 in third quarter. They was losing.
Who's tonight then? Who's the tonight?
The Browns and the Ravens. The Browns and the Ravens.
Let me see. I'm looking for the score of the Denver game.
Xavier asked the Titans. Are the Titans in the mix?
Wash. No Derrick Henry. You don't know when the receivers is coming back? Never.
Yeah.
Wash.
Yeah, I got to agree with Big G on that one. I won't say wash because I think they can still win their division because it's so crappy.
The Chargers got banked.
Okay, I know.
Banked them boys.
What was the score?
28-13.
Oh, yeah.
Banked them.
It was 14-7 when I last saw the third quarter.
Banked them. So
they
ain't ready.
You know who else got banked?
Who?
You in our fantasy football against me.
Man, let me tell you what happened, man. I beat the wrong receivers, man. I beat the wrong receivers. I had the victory. Man, I got the two receivers sitting on the bench.
We always bring in some culture. In every show we talk about something other than sports. Definitely.
Hey, wait. Before you go there, can I just say the Pittsburgh Steelers is trash. I love them, but they trash.
I'm going to say Big Ben looked 100 years old today.
Today was the first time this year I said Big Ben got to go. But the defense looked like Ohio State defense. This been a bad football weekend for me. You see where my football passion is. The Buckeyes and the Steelers, and it was bad for both of them.
Tate, do we win another game, man?
Yeah, we're gonna win another game. Tom is not gonna have a losing season. We got 6 games left. We might go 3-3. He might be 8-1. No losing season.
Ooh.
But
shout out to Xavier. Shout out to Xavier. It's your first year. You're number 3. Shout out. I'm happy. I'm happy for you, man. Shout out.
Only because his uncle coached him and told him with the 12th and 13th pick, you'd be a fool not to take Mahomes and Kelsey.
Is that the sleeper group?
Yeah, that's sleeper.
Who number 1 in that group?
Tate.
Oh, okay. And then, and then the other group, I'm number 1. I'm 10-1 in both leagues.
Yeah, killing them.
I don't know what 10-1 look like. I'm 7-4-1.
Had an A+ draft. Draft was outstanding.
And need prayer in the other one.
Yeah,
I need prayer in the other one.
If you remember though, in the sleeper league, my team was auto drafted. So I'm just making.
No, but Tate, I made a crazy trade with you. I traded Tyreek Hill for Najee Harris.
And Najee ain't done nothing the past couple of weeks. It was good for a minute.
Poor Najee, man. Listen, so we switching gears. I got 2 things that I want to talk about culturally. First thing, the on Netflix, if you get a chance, well, let's go to this one. If you get a chance, King Richard. King Richard is a must-watch. Definitely Will Smith put in a magnificent performance. There were a couple of points in there where I had to hold back tears. I was like, wow, this is really good. It's getting to me. You know what I'm saying? It's getting to me. But, to know that this is not 100% because, they embellish for movies a little bit, but it's real close to the truth. And to know that Richard Williams had 2 daughters and he had a plan for those 2 daughters and he executed the plan for those 2 daughters, that shows a discipline that, I mean, man, most people just don't have. He wrote the plan down, he made it plain, and he executed every inch of that plan. And their life was about that plan. And guess what? Their lives were better for it. It kind of puts you in the mind of Joe Jackson. And everybody was like mad at Joe because, you know, he put these kids together, made a band, and arguably the greatest singer of all time came out of that band, right? So, I mean, when you look at this, and I got to ask you guys, is it wrong of a parent to take and put that type of passion? But there was something, I have to say this. There is a caveat. There is a caveat. Somewhere along the line, the child has to buy in, because they said this in the Venus and Serena movie as well. And King Richard, he said that you could put all of this training in and the child still not buying in and nothing even matters. That's why it's difficult for you to have 2 superstars, much less 1. But my thing is, I'm asking you guys, is it wrong of the parent to put that much passion and purpose on the child at a young age? What you think, Tate?
Man, that was a great movie. And I think a lot of it was accurate. I mean, if you watch the movie and you watch the ending credits and they show actual real video footage from Serena and Venus's lives with their dad back in the day when they was young, and some of those same clips from those videos was exactly portrayed in the movie, to them tight shorts that Richard wore and everything. But in regards to your question, man, I think parents owe it to their children to push them and train them in whatever it is that they think they want to do. Now, you do have to have that buy-in. So at some point, the child is going to have to say, yeah, I want to do this. I mean, like you brought up Joe Jackson. I say Earl Woods. Tiger Woods' dad did that. Look at Tiger. You know what I mean? And yeah, I'm sure there's another example of that same thing I was talking about this weekend. I can't think of who it is right now, but definitely Tiger Woods, definitely Richard Williams. You brought up Joe Jackson. I mean, so the parents push the children, and the children do have to kind of, grasp on and go along, jump on a moving train. You know what I mean? And be down to go along for the ride. But I don't think it's wrong. And I want to say my favorite part in the movie is when he came home with the girls from tennis practice.
Spoilers. Wait a minute. Spoiler if you have not watched it.
I'm not saying what it is. I'm just saying when the police and social workers were in the house. I like that part.
Yeah.
That's it.
Definitely.
Yeah, that's it.
Definitely. So, G, we know you ain't seen the movie. So let me ask you, G, the question, do you think it's wrong for a parent to push a child in the passion and purpose?
Absolutely not. I can say this from experience. I have a 23-year-old daughter. I have a 20-year-old daughter. I have a 19-year-old daughter. My job as a parent is to prepare them for life. If I don't prepare them for life, it's not the world's responsibility to raise my children. It's my responsibility and my wife's responsibility together to raise them. Now, any parent worth their weight in salt should always want more for their kids than they want for themselves. Now, I'm not saying that the plan has been perfect for my kids. We've had ups and downs. We've had periods where I was working for a Fortune 500 company here in Lima, Ohio, and made a lot of money and made things a lot easier. We will also have periods where I was living in Austin, Texas, and Ma will tell you this, and I had cars repossessed. I was homeless for a couple of weeks, and my kids still stayed on the path because they understood and know that the plan was for them to be better as people than their mother and their father is. So right now, just FYI, today is the 28th of November 2021. December 15th of 2021, my oldest daughter will graduate from college with a bachelor's degree and already been accepted into a master's degree program. Going into 2022, both of my young daughters are transferring from Rose State College to The Ohio State University and have plans and aspirations of not just getting bachelor's degrees, master's degrees, and possibly PhDs. So the plan is that we put this in place with them when they was in kindergarten, first grade, second grade, third grade. We missed a lot of sleep. We missed a lot of hours. I can't tell you the amount of money because what I didn't tell you is that I have 2 daughters that started varsity in 2 sports from 9th grade to 12th grade. My same daughter that started from 9th grade to 12th grade was a captain of her basketball team for 4 years. If I just go back and grab the money that was spent in the shoes, the clothes, attending the basketball games, going to events, all the missed sleep, traveling with kids that aren't my kids from one city to another, trying to just make life a little bit better. Should no parent get a pat on the back or anything for that? If you're a true parent, that is your job and that is your responsibility.
So I think honestly, and to just kind of flatten this whole thing out, having that type of passion and purpose for a child, I think doesn't happen very often because parents oftentimes get lost in life, right? And they're raising a child and not leading a child, and this is a whole nother total different thing, right? I'm with you and the child are surviving life, and you ain't got no time to put a plan in place for them. I mean, this man, you'll see. I think the thing that really got to me the most, and it really got to me, is that he wasn't perfect in what he was doing. There was hiccups, and there was a whole bunch of things that they left out to kind of protect him. But if you read his story, he has other kids and he had another family. You know what I'm saying? But still in all, those girls loved it. He put a plan in place for them, and he executed that plan. And that plan didn't happen in 2 days. That plan happened in a 16-year period.
Right.
So,
they was working when nobody was looking.
Nobody was looking.
Man, what he did was have arguably probably the best tennis player of all time. Not female tennis player, the best tennis player of all time. Now you break it down, you put Venus in there, he got the best female tennis player and probably another top 5 female tennis player of all time.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? He changed the dynamics of his family because now they have wealth. Venus is worth $100 million. Serena is worth $200 million.
For sure.
And Richard Williams himself is worth $20 million.
Correct.
And then the other girls, his stepdaughters, are like lawyers and doctors.
Right.
So that.
And when I say this, X said getting lost in life is a serious subject, especially when in grind mode. Absolutely. And that's the whole thing. And what Tate just painted was legacy. That was beautiful, Tate. That was beautiful. I was gonna go there and move there, but you said it. You cleaned them up and knocked them down.
But hold on, let me say this. Let me say this though, bro.
You speak to the legacy of the family.
Right, but let me say this, man. Let me say this. And this is for every parent that's out there. Your responsibility is to create legacy for your children if they don't already have legacy. That's your responsibility as a parent. Regardless of whatever, your job is to make sure your children, when you leave this planet, your children should be better off prepared and ready for life or whatever it shows at them by you nurturing them and providing stability for them from the time that they was babies until the time where they can fend on their own. But that is your responsibility.
I think you're getting out of the parameters of what me and Tate were just talking about. What we were saying inside of Richard himself, what he created was something that's unheard of.
He fulfilled the responsibility. He had a plan, and he used his plan to fulfill because guess what? Even if those girls wouldn't have made it in tennis, they would have made it in something because Tate just pointed it out. He had stepkids that was lawyers and doctors and all this and this. So if something would have happened and they would have got injured or something, the plan was to shift. I know I'm living it. My daughter, like I said, was a 4-year captain. She was good enough to play at the collegiate level. Oops, guess what happens? 2 practices before the first game of her senior year where she was voted all league. She tears her Achilles. That ain't stopping nothing. Legacy is, baby girl, you going. The plan is for you to use that athletic ability you got to get that education to go on and do what you need to do in your life. So then that way, when I leave this planet and my wife leave this planet, you and your babies will be better off just based on sticking to the plan.
Man, and I'm gonna tell you, and I'm not gonna tell the movie again. I'm not gonna tell the movie, but he made a crucial call, and that call changed their whole environment. And I believe that getting out of Compton, that was the catalyst to changing everything that they saw. They getting out of
that was part of his plan. And you know, and this is at the very beginning. The plan blossom took root when because you know he's a security guard, and he was working security at some tennis match, and he said he saw that the girl that won the tournament won $100,000. He went home and told his wife, "We need to have 2 kids and make some tennis players." So the plan was birthed from that.
Yeah.
Hey, he had to do it.
He didn't even have Venus and Serena had a plan.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He like, look, I'm about to handle my business, and we're gonna have 2 of them.
2 of them. And he did it to it. But that's like, it's crazy that they were saying, you know, you have 2 Michael Jordans. I mean, he literally had the best tennis player of all time. And, you know, Venus ain't no slouch.
No
you know
slouch.
What I'm saying?
And
Venus is not a slouch.
For all the early years, she was better.
She was better.
Yeah.
But guess what?
But you know what, though? Listen, I'm not taking no shine from them because they clearly are the best. But there are other families that's like that. Look at the Currys, man. I mean, look at the Curry. I mean,
Big G. The difference is Dale Curry was a professional basketball player, and they had plenty of means. They had exposure to other NBA players. Oh, you know, they was shooting around pregame. I've seen videos when Steph and Seth was little kids shooting around in the Charlotte Coliseum talking to Michael Jordan and stuff. You know what I mean?
What about the Morris boys?
Richard Williams came out of Compton, California, the hood. Them 5 girls stayed in 1 bedroom together.
Oh, yeah. Oh, I'm not taking nothing from their shine. So, I'm just saying that there's been other parents and stuff that's
but that's
probably the greatest. They probably the greatest.
Yeah. Sure. So, you know, definitely that was the one thing that we wanted to talk about. And you know, lastly, Big G said this and he mentioned it. And real quick, we've talked about the greatest MCs of all time. Let's talk about the greatest groups. Give me your top five best hip hop groups ever. I need to know.
You got to clear up the parameters. Are we talking about lyricists or record sales?
No, we're talking about the top 5 hip hop groups of all time.
Man, we talked about this already on the one show, but I'll see if I can remember my 5. But I mean, to me, it got to be rooted based on cultural impact. Forget lyricists or whatever, record sales. Cultural impact.
Okay, so if we let's set the parameters. Cultural impact, record sales, correct? Those that's part of it, and lyricism. So give it to me. Give it to me. Top 5. Or should I go for? Y'all want me to go first?
No, I'll go first.
Number one to me is Outkast.
Okay,
number one to me, without a shadow of a doubt, would have to be Outkast. Number 2 would have to be NWA. Number 2 would have to be NWA. Number 3 would have to be Wu-Tang. Number 3 would have to be the Wu-Tang Clan. Number 4 would, and this is just, I can say this without a shadow of a doubt. It's my own South bias. It is what it is. The Ghetto Boys. I don't care what nobody say. Scarface is an icon in hip hop, and he's been doing it for a long time. And Jay Prince is the man. It's the Ghetto Boys. And I think number 5 would be Run DMC. And I would be fine with somebody switching 4 and 5 because literally the Ghetto Boys were, a clone of DMC. So, I mean, honestly, when you think about it, to me, I don't think you got anything greater. That's what you got.
Tay, let me go, man. Let me go because I think ours is gonna be similar, right? Cool, I can go.
Go.
First man up, Run DMC. Ain't no ifs, ands, buts about it. Number 1, Run DMC. Number 2, The Tribe Called Quest. Number 3, NWA. Number 4, Outkast. Number 5, the Wu-Tang Clan. That's the top 5. Tribe Called Quest, killing them.
Quest would have been my number 6, but go ahead. I like it.
Tay, this on you, bro. Who you got?
Oh, no, that was nice, Big G. I mean, you kind of shook me with Tribe Called Quest. Not shook me because I was surprised. I just forgot about him. Yeah. So I might have to agree with you 5 for 5. I might shift the order. I got NWA being number 1, Run DMC being number 2. Yeah. Then I probably would go Tribe Called Quest, Outkast, and then I probably would put Wu-Tang number 5. Not because I like them, but because I respect their cultural impact. People love them. They sell out stadiums and arenas around the world still. Method Man. You was talking about Raekwon earlier. Goldface.
Yes.
Old Dirty Bastard. I mean, I don't like them, but I gotta give it up to them. If I was just putting a number 6 wild card in there, I'd have to go with my bias too. My West Coast boys, the DPG baby,
Dog Pound Gangsters.
Dog Pound Gangsters.
Hey, if I had an honorable mention, number 6, Boogie Down Productions.
Oh, BDP, that's one too.
Y'all sleeping, and it's just because I had 2 alternates, and you're sleeping just because of the simple fact that you're not even thinking on this side. But I have to tell you, with Salt and Pepper, you can't lose Salt and Pepper. You can't talk about groups and cultural impact without bringing Salt and Pepper into the whole discussion.
They up there.
You know what I'm saying?
They up there.
You know what I'm saying? So you got Salt and Pepper, and then another one of my South people. I got to put in there. I got to put UGK in there. I mean,
I knew you were going to say Pimp C in them. I knew it was coming.
You can't leave UGK out. And Xavier X got a couple that he mentioned in here. He mentioned Migos. He mentioned Mobb Deep and Fuji.
Mobb Deep nice though.
Yeah, no, Mobb Deep is definitely nice.
Yeah, but they volume wasn't enough.
Are they top 10? Are they top 10?
No,
they might can sneak in the top 15. I might put them in that 12, 13 range.
The Fuji's getting the top 10.
Volume not enough, man.
But so see, I would be Ghetto Boys around 8 or 9.
Mine gave it up to his people, man. I'm gonna represent Bone Thugs, baby.
Oh yeah, them Cleveland boys. Them Cleveland boys was hitting. them Superior and Kinsman boys was hitting, boy. They was out there hitting. Hey, listen, I was in the land. I was in Cleveland when Bone Thugs came out, man. I worked at Foot Locker at Randall Park Mall in Cleveland, Ohio, when Bone Thugs and Harmony hit. I remember the first time that I found out about them. It's funny, y'all talked about Perry. I was visiting my girlfriend from Perry, Kalitha Johnson, up in college in Bowling Green. Yeah. And they was playing all over the campus up there, and they was coming to the homecoming that year, I think. This is back in like 93, but I found out about Bone. I was gone off for the love of money and the thuggish, ruggish Bone at that time. Oh, man. Hot. So hot. Yeah.
Sure. I mean, I can see Bone, and I might would give him top 10. I might would give him top 10. I think you kind of have to. You know what I mean? You kind of, if we're talking about cultural relevance, and they shook up the game and kind of changed what everybody was doing.
And their style was original.
Yes. Yes.
And to piggyback on both our wasn't all three of ours, but you got to piggyback on that. You got to go back to Eazy-E. So that's NWA's influence on that.
It is. It's definitely NWA's influence. But NWA got so many. I mean, 50, Eminem. I mean, you just keep going. You keep Kendrick, Snoop. You can keep going. I mean, their ties there's there.
Warren G.
Let me ask y'all this.
Warren G and Nate Dogg.
Warren G, Nate Dogg. Let me ask y'all this. Where does oh man, the group was just in my head. Oh man.
Don't tell me you're gonna be talking about them hot boys down there in New Orleans. Don't tell me you ain't gonna come with them.
The hot boys is, I mean, they're definitely top 20. You can't Juvie and Wayne and out of that came Drake.
They got a heck of a camp.
De La Soul. That's who I was gonna ask y'all. What is De La top 10?
They don't have the volume. They don't have the volume.
They're classic. They're classic hip hop group though.
Albums.
But them first 2 or 3 was the only good one, not great ones. Potholes in My Lawn, still their first one was the best one.
Yeah. He said 1993.
93 tape. Man, y'all.
Yeah, we old. That's how we know it all. Hey, you know it all. You got to live.
Reasons why we know it all, man.
Hey, that's what I just said. In 94, 95, I was in Cleveland, Ohio. You had to be around to see it. That's why we talk about who the greats are. We seen Michael Jordan lace them up. You know what I'm saying? Like, we done seen the greats play.
Man, we talking about hip hop. We seen Grandmaster Flash and Melly Mel and Curtis Blow
from the rip.
That's old.
The beginning.
yeah, that's old. That's old school. So there's no new group besides Migos, because Migos did create this whole. They created this whole move as far as the way that people are rapping now. Migos did that. So I give Migos credit. And they're one of those groups that the newer groups that I think would be a part of the top 20 if we're having that conversation.
Okay. I was about to ask you top 10. You say top 20 though?
No, they'd be in that top 20, definitely solid.
Migos greater than G Unit?
Never. Never. The unit was
Lloyd Banks, 50 Cent.
That's hard, man. I think if you're asking me on cultural relevance and
what's the other dude name from Tennessee?
Young
Buck
was a blood.
Young Buck.
But bro, so I'm saying cultural relevance because they had clothing line, but all that stuff was 50, right? But Migos, man, I'm telling you, Migos is they hard. You can't deny what they doing right now. So, man, if they ain't above them, they right there neck and neck. They probably A and B. They're 1A and then 1B. You know what I'm saying? 1A, 1B. But you guys, man, I thank you for rocking with us and hanging out with us. I know y'all are chomping at the bit to get to the late football game. Everybody that part of the Know It All universe, thank you guys. Make sure that you like and subscribe. You can catch us on Facebook. You can catch us on Twitch. You can catch us on YouTube. Make sure you like and subscribe to the podcast. And definitely till next week, it's your boys from the Know It All signing off. We will holler at y'all again and again. We out.